All right. Yes, we're back again. World Bank Kingdom Conversation. It's so good to be here again. And the last 2 weeks has been great as we have been on this journey of learning about hard work alignment. And it's been, I think this, as a church entirely, I think our focus has been alignment, that thing with alignment. And here at the World Bank Kingdom Conversation, we've been exploring the theme hard work isn't the problem, misalignment is. And the past weeks has been great. We thank God for the sort of insight we've been getting. Last week was actually, insightful. The words coming out as we, our guest last week was Dr. Oyelaja, and she was able to, bring us into our world as she told us her story and some of those things that she had to do. Some of the stories, and a part of that story that struck me was how she had to just resign. Being married, and you just have to resign your work because some things have to align. Some things had to just, be straightened up, and just to hear God say, this is the way to go. And I'm trusting that this week, or this evening, will draw up more insight as we look deeply into the theme. And my guest today, as you all know, I'm not here alone. And my guest today, she's definitely not a stranger, but I personally feel honored to have her here as she share our wisdom again. Sitting with her, there's a whole lot of wisdom, and it's almost as though that there is almost no end to the things, the wisdom, to the depth of the wisdom you get to hear from her. And I'm privileged, I'm honored to be having her here. Please, let's welcome Pastor Ochelavi. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Good to see you. How's your day been?
Fine.
I don't know. For me, I think this week has been hot.
It's hot.
The heat this week has been crazy. Yes, hard work isn't the problem, misalignment is. I think a good place to start will be, again, when I think about your story again, I can't help but go back to the fact that you've been onto a venture for 30 years. For me, it still strikes me as almost impossible, because when I look at mine, I look at my own life, because I'm usually like I usually do something for a long period of time. I get tired, let's do something else, or let's try and do something else. But to see someone do something for 30 years and all of that, and I think a good place to start would be to say, did you always know that you were going to be this?
Did I answer?
Let's say by the time you became a teenager.
I didn't know, but there were things I was doing that was pointing to it.
There were things you were doing. So those things that you were doing, was it out of I just want to do something, or I have to survive, or this is what back in the days, or because I'm trying to lean into your own generation. Back in the days, it was like you do this, then you go to the school, then after school you now do this. If you want to go to school, you can only be a doctor, an engineer, and all of that. And then, but for you, was it just that you want to do something, or was it just an interest that you picked up?
For me, I didn't have the pressure of trying to rush things. I didn't have the pressure.
You were so lucky.
Yeah, I was. But I noticed there were things that I liked. Like, I'm inclined to colors. I like doing things with my hand. So I could remember when I was small, when they take us to a tailor's place. I draw the design I want by myself. I will draw it.
It was not as if you were taught.
No, I know how to draw.
Wow.
I know it's natural. I know how to draw. Yeah. So our seamstress then used to be very. She's so amused, like this small girl, and by the time she brings it out, I'll be surprised too that wow, she got it. So as early as that age, and I remember one time, anytime I see things that are colorful, I try to practice. So I saw somebody did. There's something we call atmakasa.
Atmakasa.
Yeah, it's like this rope. Yes. So I saw somebody twist it somehow, and I'm like, wow, I can actually use this thing to make a belt. And so I got different colors from my pocket money. I mixed them together, and I packed them inside a white nylon and sellotaped it.
Wow.
So I did a lot. So in front of my gate, I just put a tray down, and people were buying. Some were buying out of this small girl. How did you come about this? So, but by the time my daddy came and saw me, he drove me inside. What rubbish? What are you looking for? But it's when I look back, I wonder, why was I doing that in those days? So technically, it has been part of me. But I think I was just opportune to be in church. I was opportune to be in a church. My church when I was a youth was somehow like the Bridge Network. They teach us entrepreneurship. We have a youth group.
As at
yes, as at then. Yes,
wow,
yes, yes,
wow.
Yes.
Because many churches wearing suits, all of that at that time.
Early 90s, and it was inside the church that I got to know that I'm supposed to be designing.
Wow.
I think I've shared this sometime where I was already in poly then. I was studying accounting.
So you're an accountant?
Yes.
Wow.
So we went back. We were on holiday, and the youth department of the church was having a career day. I was Pastor Tope Bola.
Oh, okay.
He was the one that came around then, and it was just teaching generally. Then he was now talking about gifts. That a lot of people, God has blessed them. They can do things effortlessly. That when you see that things comes to you naturally, that's the way God shows you your gifting. So when he was saying it in my mind, I was like, oh, seriously, there are things that I know I do. Like if I want to pass in accounting, I need to study. I need to burn the candle. You really, really need to study. But I discover when it comes to fashion and business, I don't think I have to do anything. It's just there. And how do I know? Before I got admission I told you I know how to draw. I'm a fine artist. So I naturally applied to go to Ife to study fine arts.
Wow.
Yeah. But my dad didn't want that. He didn't like it because he was an accountant.
Typical.
So he just told me that. And of course, I passed. So when the result came out, instead of him to take me down to Ife and do the registration, he deliberately allowed me to miss the opportunity.
Wow.
So he now said, imagine they didn't take you. Go and do accounting job. Go and do. And I was like, imagine they didn't take me. So I was also good in mathematics anyway.
Wow.
So I got admission to Poly. But of course, I lost a year. So it was during that year that I felt, instead of just staying at home and not doing anything, so I went to learn fashion in our neighborhood. Yeah, I just went. But that was where the thing turned for me. Because while the man is teaching me, it's like I knew it, even though nobody taught me. He will explain something small, and I will see further. So I'm like, this is strange. So I only spent 3 months before I left for school. And by that time, I started sewing. Sewing that even my boss was like, we don't understand how I make men's trousers that when customers come in, they won't even know I'm the one. They can't imagine that I'm the one that made it. And by the time they try, they're okay, they just go. So the man keeps looking at me. So before I went to school, I made some clothes for myself too. So on getting to Poly Ibadan, I don't understand what happened because I can barely walk from my room to class without seeing somebody that will stop me. Sorry, where did you make this skirt? And I'm like, what? And where did you make this top? To me, it's nothing. But so before I knew it, everybody in my class, when it's time for holiday, they will go and buy clothes, they will bring to my room. So during holiday, I do nothing but so.
Wow.
So when I'm going back to school, first day resumption, everybody comes to my room to come and pick their wares. So I was making money even while I was in school. So, and it has been like that. So I felt it's already, thank God we had somebody that helped, because when Pastor Tokwela was teaching that day, he was the one that opened my eyes to see that, oh, I do this thing effortlessly. And it's like there's a kind of grace that is following it. So I went home and told my dad that.
So my question now is that, at that point where you heard Pastor Tokwela and that realization came in, I assume that, I want to also believe that you could have also said that, yes, but let me just go for this other one that might look like it is. It will be like a paying job. When I get to go to office, I look suited up. You could have said that's what I wanted to do, but there was that.
Really, it looked like that because as at 1980, 89, 90, fashion wasn't. I can't actually point to any fashion designer then that was hot. In fact, that was what my daddy used. Because when I got home that day, I told him that, Daddy, I think I want to do fashion designing.
Wow.
He said, no problem, but I should just finish accounting. That won't hurt. So I felt like, well, that sounds good. So I went back to school. Then I think he felt this girl. The weekend, he just traveled down to Ibadan. Then when he now took me in his car, we're now driving around Ibadan. Then we'll see a tailor shop. How dirty, some of them are sleeping on their machines. He just took me around and they now said, I've been to his office before. He works with Nigerian breweries. And you can imagine how
his office
Igomu Lagos, their head office.
Wow.
So he was now asking me that, is that how I want to live my life? Have I seen what fashion designing looks like? And I was like, it's true. My daddy's office has AC and everything is there. I now want to. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll do the accounting. Again, there was another program because then I attended SPCC. So there was this man from Kano. I think Kola Iwosho was in town. So I was part of the choir. We had to go and set up and stuff.
You're part of the choir?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we had to go and set up stuff. And while we were there, the man was preaching. And he was using this scripture, the old and the new prophet. Then he was saying that the old prophet knew God and everything. Said the young prophet, God actually gave him an instruction. And because of what the old prophet said, he decided to listen to the old prophet because he believes that he's matured, he knows more, at the expense of what he heard from God. He said that old prophet can be your father. Immediately he said that, it hit me where I was sitting. I just remembered what just happened on Saturday because I've already agreed I was going to pursue my dream, and I'm beginning to bend because I think my dad should know more than me. I think his experience. So immediately he said that, I knew, oh no, that was me. That word was for me. So I just felt, man, no, I'm going to go all the way for this fashion. So I went back and I told my dad, and he said, I was even thinking he would deal with me or stuff like that, but he just kept quiet. Then the next day, he just called me and said, whatever you want to do, you have to do it very well. Go and get a brochure. Go and look for where they're doing fashion designing in Nigeria. I found out they were doing it in Ife, Ilorin, and Yabatek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I opted for Yabatek.
Oh, wow.
So when I finished, I had to go for the fashion so that I could get, and even at that, when I got to Yabatek, I don't know, I just discovered that I had
seen it all already.
Yes, I didn't. I was like, is that it? They will give us an assignment. I'll see my mates. 2 weeks, they are not done in 2 hours.
Hey,
and
God.
I'll be wondering, what are they doing?
Hey, God.
And so that is where you know that this thing is you are just wired like that. You are wired like that, yeah.
I think it's a good place to also pause, because one of the things I admire about your story is how you were rooted in God already. You were attuned to the voice of God already at that young age. And I think it's a very critical point. If you're a young person right now, still, if you're asking questions about where you should go with your life, what you should do, I think it's a good place. You've heard our own story, how she was rooted in God, how she was attuned to the voice of God, how she can hear things, how she was able to decipher. That pastor that preached that the parable of the old prophet, the story of the old prophet and the new prophet, how these voices will want to, rise up. And I think what you said now relates to the interaction I had with Miss Adiola when we started this series about, she's also an educationist, and she's also sort of an intermediary between the parents and the children. And, she has to meet with parents who says, my child must be this, my child must be that, and she has to show them that, from what I've seen, it's as though this
is a blank check.
But then the best she can do is to say,
advice.
Yes, and I think that's a very interesting thing. So once again, if you're a young person, I think a good place to start is to learn to listen to God more, and to discover the graces you have been blessed with. And I think that's a very fantastic point to also start the conversation, because I feel like we are just starting actually, seeing that you were able to discover, I want to say discover yourself, such grace at that moment, at that period, at that young age. And you were able to even clarify to say, no, there's the old one, there's the new one. So I have to listen to what God is actually saying. But now down the line, when you were as you were going, of course, you will discover the grace, you turn. At what point did you turn it into a venture, like a proper business beyond, I just want to sew for people?
Well, I started from home. In fact, my mom bought this hire purchase machine. Those days, Singer.
Singer, yeah.
In fact, I still have that machine up to now. And normally, whenever any tailor is, I'll tell them this machine is older than you, so respect it. But sincerely, for me, 30 years. And I remember because I always listened to him.
Okay.
I always listened to him. So it was part of his message that taught me about delayed gratification and stuff like that. So even though I had, in fact, the day I opened my shop, my dad was like, he couldn't understand.
You open your own shop with your own resources?
Yes. He didn't give me a dime.
Wow.
And he was like, he had to call me. Where did you get this money from? I said, what I do in the room, I make money. He said, where did you? I said, I make money. I said, you thought? He said, are you trying to tell me you got this shop, you funded it, got all this machine? I said, yes.
That was the quality of parenting we had back then.
Yeah.
You couldn't just make any money anyhow.
He can't believe that. So this thing you do inside that room fetched you this. And I said, yes.
Wow.
Because I launched and I actually launched. It was a grand opening. So it has always been one step after the other. So I just keep doing what I love doing. And it's like, that's why I say I can't take away the grace part, because at times I wonder, is it that I think other people do this thing now, but this liking, people taking liking to you, people coming
gravitating
back,
towards you.
Yes, I find that one
very strong,
special. Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
so now you have your venture, and you have it till now. Have you at any point in time felt that you probably were just on the wrong path?
Never.
And tried to do another thing?
Never.
Why were you so convinced?
Because I was enjoying what I was doing. It's like you being paid for something that is not costing you anything.
Yeah.
A good example I give are good nurses. There are some people that they care for people naturally. Mm-hmm. They can't stand you getting sick, being ill, being having one disease or the other. They just want to help out. So when people like that end up being a nurse or a doctor, they don't find it difficult relating with people because they actually love doing it. I love what I do. I don't really see it as work. Like the way people describe work. It doesn't look like work to me because I enjoy doing it. Recently, I told you that I moved to my shop in Aleshinloy because I want to stay there. And ideally, you will think that I should enjoy just sitting down, and I couldn't. As of today, I've gotten a table inside that place because not cutting clothes is making me to feel as if I'm missing something. And today, I actually officially started cutting at that place because I just love it. I can't sit down doing nothing. That's not my nature. In fact, if I had been an accountant, I'm sure I would regret it because that means I have to stay on, and I don't think that is me. It would be mathematics. My visuals is very strong. And for those that knows me, I do a lot of drama and stuff like that. So it's like virtually everything that God has blessed me with, all of them are finding expression in what I'm doing right now. I'm able to touch virtually everything, and they are all useful. If I happen to be an accountant, a lot of what I'm gifted will be wasted because I will narrow it only to one. But with what I'm doing right now, even the things that were not hard enough before are now useful at this stage because of social media, because of the way life is going. I just find out that I can actually bring in everything that I'm good at, and all of them will still function inside my core, and it's working like that. I think I like it. I don't think I can do anything else. I don't think so. They can be fun, no, but not as a vocation.
So how do we explain a scenario where someone is doing their job well, they are getting paid well, but they can't seem to find joy in that?
Yeah, that's because they are not in alignment with their core. There's always a core. If immediately you are not feeling fulfilled, it shows that you are out of line. Because we have the primary, we have the secondary and tertiary. Primary is how God relates to everybody. And the way he communicates it to us is from our make. If, as I am now, if I see blood, I can faint. So it's stupid of me to say I want to be a medical doctor, because that means when I say an accident victim, the doctor will be on the ground too. So it's not making sense. But there are some people, such thing doesn't do anything to them. They don't mind cutting, I can cut clothes but not flesh. But we are gifted in different ways. So if you are in your thing, it will be comfortable for you. You won't strive. That's why work will not look like work. Because you're doing it. Yeah, it's like somebody that likes dancing, and they invite you to come and dance, and they will pay you for dancing. How is that work? It's no more, because you are enjoying it. So you do your thing and you get paid and you go home doing what you love doing. So, at times when I see what I do and I charge people and they pay, I just feel it's like they're dashing me the money because I enjoy it. Do you understand? So if it's not sitting down well with you, if you are struggling with it, if it's you wake up on Monday morning and you don't feel like going to work, you are probably not doing the right thing.
Amazing. One thing that kept coming back to me, because I think that one of the words that has been flying in this in the couple of weeks that we've been having this conversation is the word fulfillment. For you, how do you define fulfillment?
I think fulfillment is just everything adding up together, and you're still very okay. You are no pressure. You are happy. You love it. You're satisfied. There are even some people in this industry that the only reason they're doing it, maybe they didn't pass YA, and they say they should go and do fashion designing. When such people are working, you will notice because number one, they don't care about the customers. They don't care whether the clothing looks good on you or not. Just pay them. That's all. But to me, I'm happy when I see people wear my outfits. It gladdens my heart. Everything about that thing interests me. You will notice I'm not a heavy dresser myself. That's the irony of it. Because a typical fashion designer, you appear somewhere, you have what. I'm simple, very simple. But I still like to see people look gorgeous, look their best, because that's it. So fulfillment is what you're doing. Are you happy? Are you okay? Deep down, not facade, you're not trying to please anybody. That is you. Can you sleep on your bed and you really sleep because you are fulfilled? Oh yeah, I've done enough for the day. Father, thank you. I'm okay. You can't wait for the next day, for the next challenge and stuff like that.
As we're talking, another picture that came to mind was there was this time that it got to a point for me as a young person. They would tell us passion doesn't pay the bills, right? So what happens when someone is doing something that they actually like, but it's not bringing them the financial return? They actually like it, but it's not.
I get what you're saying.
And at a certain point, that can become somewhat,
I get what you're saying.
Frustrating.
Do you know? I said that I have different giftings, but this one is like cumulatively they are adding together. Okay, I said on Sunday that it is the glory of God to conceal a matter. and it is our duty to search it out. Nothing is ever on the surface. It's never on the surface. Like, TDJ said, God will give you a tree. He will never give you a chair. And the truth of the matter is that God has a way of working. He's a creator. Like, he will never tell you to do this thing, go. But he will give you options. And he expects you to discern and choose. Now, I heard a man of God said, you have so many giftings. The one that cannot fetch you money are talent. They are
the ones that cannot fetch you money are talent.
They are just talent and the hobby. So just count it as hobby. If it's not, because ideally, whatever you have will generate, whether you like it or not. It will, because that is how it is. It was programmed. If it's not generating money, it's just an hobby. It's an hobby. And if you love your hobby so much, don't worry. Just do what you have been called to do. Then use that one to service your hobby. And why I'm saying this is that there is no labor on earth that doesn't have a reward. We may not have discovered it. I give you a very beautiful example. Nobody knew that people can live off makeup until with it. If it comes natural with you, that's your gifting, and you stay with it. You don't just stay at the door. You need to dig deep, because somebody always opened the door for others. Those things are there before, and people were not making money out of it until, Tara is making millions out of makeup that has been, she broke that thing. So if you are not making money out of that thing, it's because there's something about it that you have not discovered. If you unlock it, the money will show forth. So most time it's not because what people are doing is not generating funds. It's because they have not discovered the key to that thing. I have a friend. She's this glass, what do they call it? Is it glass people? Ophthalmologist.
Okay.
Yeah, she works with a company, and I just like, she's very beautiful, very fine girl, and I'm like, go to office, she stay there, what they are paying her, and I'm like, babe, why don't you come on TikTok? Come and start educating people about eyes. Talk to us about, how to take care of our eyes, and at the back, just put different types of glasses. Recommended, fancy, wear one, with her beauty. Boy, that girl will sell out. But she's not just inclined. She'd rather go to work in the morning and she's complaining. And I'm like, the day this girl will hit this thing, that gift that she has, she is not tapping it. She's just satisfied with going to the work in the morning and going back home. Meanwhile, she can be making millions just by educating people online, telling them what to eat, what not to eat, what to take, what not to do to your eyes. And in the process, if you need a recommended glass, give you her address, you can come in you can, book time with her. And so a lot of opportunities are there. But some people are just limited to that small. They are not expanding. They feel every business has anything you do in this life, there's always a level that you can always graduate to. But most time, people just stay at the base.
So 2 questions. Number 1 is, why do you, in your experience, by the virtue of age, by the virtue of experience, and the things that you have done, why do you think it is so? And this, secondly, how can anyone get to that point where they unlock new possibilities in whatever it is that they are doing?
Yeah, I think thinking, basically.
Thinking.
Yeah, most people don't think. I'm telling you. Yeah, most people don't think. They think they are thinking, but they don't think. Because thinking is work on its own. But if you actually sit down and sincerely, talk to yourself, ask yourself questions. Imagine yourself being your customer. What do they want? What else can I do? But we'll have this, I think this cultural thing. We just like staying at until somebody now starts, then everybody will now rush. But that person that started it thought of something, of another way. There are several ways. In every labor, the Bible says there's profit. Every, not some. It's just that we have not discovered how to make it in that space, simply because maybe somebody else have not done it. But once somebody breaks it, other people will rush. But in every labor, there's profit. You need to discover where your profit is in that labor that you want to embark on. And it may not be the regular thing that those that have gone before you are doing. It might not be. So you need to find out, how else can I do this thing? How else? What can I do? How can I make this thing better? And you'll be surprised. Just go to the fish. You find out that the coin is inside the water.
Amazing. Let's now begin to look in this current climate now, where the major reason, it looks as though, for me, if I, as I began to imagine and just begin to notice things, it's as though that the only thing most of us are living for is just money. Let's just make this money. Let's do whatever we can and all of that. Well, I'll leave that to you. It's as though all of what we're doing is money, and is like we can't find people who are really genuine about what they do. First off, what do you think caused this, and how do you think we can get back to this place where we can have people do what they really want to do and be joyful about it, regardless of whether they are making big money or they are making money in a way that is progressive?
David said, I prayed early. And I love that scripture so much. It's so simple. But I think when we do things early, there's no pressure. Like you asked, when I started, I didn't need money. I didn't. No, money wasn't my motivation. Because if I needed money, I'll ask my parents for it. So, starting early is one major thing. And I think the devil has succeeded in putting people in a corner, especially in this country. He will so much make sure that you waste so much time that by the time you are ready, time has gone, you don't have a choice, you want to just crash. So that is why he will just corner you and like, man, you need the money. Just put one more zero. Make that 3,300. Because you are now, if you just tell you have school fees to pay, you better take the bribe. He has boxed you. But if by the time you started, money was not an issue, you were just doing what you love, and you get all the support that you need, naturally, by default, when you work or when you labor, you're paid. Say a laborer is
worthy of his wages.
So, and it says if he that is in his work will stand before.
Yeah, he that is see a man diligent
in his work, he will stand before kings and not men. Those are little information that we are getting to help us to know what to do. Diligence. Start early. Do what you know how to do, because God is a rewarder. At times, when people work, they work as if they are working for their boss. They work as if they are not doing what they're doing, as if they are accountable to God. If you want God to be the one that pays you, then you have to do things as unto the Lord. But if you want men to pay you, then you start doing things to please men. But sincerely, this generation is wasting away because there's that pressure, there's that misinterpretation that the reason why you work is just to make money. And that's everybody's focus. But if you just grow up naturally and you do the needful, you are in it to be a blessing. You are in it to fulfill a purpose. You are doing it because this is what you feel God has called you to do. That's why you can see those that are, like I used to say, imagine in those days now, most of our parents were teachers. Most of them were nurses, and they still have 5 children. And everybody went to university with how much? How much were they paying them? There's a way that God will provide for you. That is not your own. Your own doing is do what you can do. Do your best. Do what is needful. But by the time we put money as the only reason for why we do what we do, it's going to be a problem. Because our motivation, everything is money, and there's little money can do, sincerely. Because money cannot. That if money can do everything, why are billionaires committing suicide?
Hey.
At least they have all.
Hey.
So it's not enough. There's something about the human heart. There's something about the human life. There's something they call fulfillment. There's something they call it's peace. You can't buy it. That's why they say some people there's a difference between a house and a home. They are two different things entirely. There's a difference between you sleeping and sleeping. When you sleep and you wake up refreshed, we think it's normal. That's God. So a lot of things that God can do for. So money should never, I think, just go for what you are. I like giving this Obey song. I love it so much because it's a very clear example of what riches really is. That I think they told the man that I should pick between suru, wealth, and at the end of the day, the guy picked suru, and the man said, "Okay, go." And when he was going, wealth says, "Sir, you know anywhere suru goes, I must follow." So wealth, money, all of them follow. So there are some things that just like the scripture says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God first." Mm-hmm. And all other things shall be added. Pick the right thing. Every other thing follows by default. So you pick what you've been called to do. You're doing it. Wealth will follow. So do the right thing. Let wealth follow. But if you put wealth first, other things will not follow. Because you are out of alignment. That is why you see, at times they say, when you start something, you start small, you grow it. You can see somebody today is down, tomorrow he has become a millionaire. And you can see that they can't sustain it. That's why you see, how many people have you seen that won lottery and they are rich a year after? Because there's a process. God will want you to grow. You learn how to manage 100, He will increase it, you learn it, He will increase it, then you grow. But when it comes suddenly, most time it destroys. That's why you see young boys with money and it will just go into their head. Suddenly they begin to see their parents as, excuse me, and before they activate curses upon their head. Somebody was cracking a joke. He said, imagine when God said to Abraham, whoever bless you, I will bless. Whoever curse you, I will curse. So just imagine Abraham going to a supermarket and a boy standing behind. He said, Baba, please get out, go and die at home. Can't you just send your children to come and say he has just carried curse free of charge because of the anointing that stand up, continue, and with that